Okay, so we are live, and I am here with my girl Elohor. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, ma. I'm doing good.
We have tried to have this session for quite a long time, so I'm so happy. Finally, yeah.
Alright. Fine.
Why didn't you allow me get somebody? You just kept saying, "I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it."
I really felt the need to do it.
I know, and I know that we're going to glean from your wisdom today. Okay, hello everyone joining us. Please give me a second. I am trying to get our audience where now to join us. Okay, please give me a minute. Hello, so you can go ahead and just tell us about, your experience reading this book. Okay, I'll be listening.
I really enjoyed reading this book. It was very something I wish I had read earlier. Would have helped me when I was a bit younger and I had a lot of all those click issues. Right now, I'm not um as clingy as I was back then because back then I was recently just coming from Nigeria, so I really didn't know how things worked. I just wanted to belong really. I didn't really know how to do that. So I just decided to join whoever was popular, whoever seemed the most fun, and landed me into a lot of, well, the stress I could have avoided because I was so focused on belonging. So, and with my emotions too, not um, identifying how I felt and just writing it off or signing it off as just, oh, it's nothing, it's not that big of a deal. But it really was, and I should have paid more attention to it because it would have sorted things out better. So this book really helped me to figure that out.
Hmm. So, Ella, you're always sharing with me your experience about, relocating out of Nigeria and all the things you went through. I really, really appreciate your being so vulnerable. Yeah, and also very willing to share your story so that other girls can benefit from it as well. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for that. So, what would you name your predominant emotions that you faced, for example? Sorry, first of all, how old were you when you moved abroad?
I was 10.
10. So you were preteen, yeah?
I was a preteen. Yeah.
Preteen. So name your two, three, four most predominant or most frequent exhibited emotions.
So one of them would be worry. I had a lot of worry, not really anxiety per se, but I was just really
Mm,
worried about different things. Oh, does this person like me? Does this person not like me? I couldn't really tell,
mm,
so I had a lot of worry. I usually
mm,
experience a lot of confusion because obviously people have different ways of communicating com- compared to Nigeria. So I really used to be like, what is going on
mhm,
here? How do I respond to this?
mhm,
And then I did go through a lot of happiness when I felt that I belonged and all of that, but at the same time, it was for
mm.
the wrong reasons. And I didn't think it was genuine relationships, but I went through a lot of happiness too. And then obviously sadness when things fell through and didn't go my way. I was just like really bummed out.
Okay, I get that. Who is enjoying our conversation already? Let me see you in the comments. I see you on Instagram. Sorry we got you late, but welcome here anyway. We just started. I'm having this conversation with one of my queen daughters in the girls' hall. Her name is Elohor, and she lives. Elo, where's that country you live again?
I live in America.
America.
This one.
Oh, really? I'd always thought you lived somewhere in the UK, and that was why I was always missing your time. I get now.
Oh, yeah.
So
Different.
Ella is one of my hinge women, kind of. When I just want something to be done, Ella is one of those people. She does my slides, she does my stuff. I didn't even know the country she lived in. I thought she was living somewhere in the UK. But Ella she's so resourceful. I mean, there was a day I was trying to reach out to her, and then it was her mom I reached. I was like, please, excuse me, can I please talk to who I'm looking for? And her mom was saying, sorry, oh, And she said, but her phone has been down, her device has been down. And do you know, Elohor has been saying that, how is Aunty Etima going to reach me? I'm worried. Elohor was worried because I was not going to be able to reach her. And that was so very thoughtful of you. Thank you so much, my darling.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so Elohor, tell me what you noticed with your peers when you were pretend. How did you notice, what did you notice about their emotions, about their behavior? Because emotions drive your action. So what did you notice with pretend, it is 9, 10, 11, 12? What did you notice?
Well, I noticed that really everybody was always actually just trying to belong. I mean, the person that I became really close friends with had actually just experienced a clique breakup per se. So his group had fallen apart, and he was
Mm,
looking for other people to connect with, and that was how I found him. But at the same time, so everybody really was just trying to belong. So they would all try to look, happy and friendly, and oh, we have the same interest, we can be
mm,
friends. But really, when you look deeper into the thing, that we're just trying to find somebody to be with, just not trying to look lonely. So that was the whole point of the friendship. Even though friendship is supposed
yeah.
to be shared interests and values, it was just
Mm.
also I look popular or I look more confident and all that kind of stuff.
I get. And please, if you're just joining us, I'm having this conversation with my queen daughter, Elohor. We're talking about the book, A Preteen's Guide to Navigating Their Emotions. And Elohor just answered, one of the major components of this book. There was a chapter I wrote about, I titled that chapter, Cliques, Conflict, and Crushes. Three things that happen so much with preteens. They are constantly having friendship problems. Sometimes they come in for counseling and all we're settling is a friendship problem. And I'm like, these people don't have problems. So, friendship problem. Is that what we're going to talk about today? But it's a big deal for a preteen because you won't believe that a friendship problem, an unresolved conflict, can affect a preteen's overall well-being. I'm not kidding. It can affect their mental state, it can affect their academic performance, it can affect even their spiritual life. Like, seriously, please take it from me. When I write a book for a pre-teenager or a teenager, don't ask any questions, just get that book. Because I'm writing from a place of deep experience and engagement over time with these young people. Parents say things like, what is there? Is it not just a friend? Is she the only friend? Is she the only person? Is it the only right? Hello. And
Yes,
that's not
ma'am.
what you guys think. Like, it's more than that. Journaling had said this thing last week when she came. So like, she doesn't know why parents always just make that statement. It's like playing down on their struggles. A preteen will constantly struggle when they cannot handle their friendship problems. So I wrote about that conflict, cliques, and crushes. Hello, tell me about the clique thing. Or how is it like? What is it like? And why does it disturb you guys so much?
Cliques are a very big deal. Although people usually call it friend groups. That was the name that was ringing and still people use a lot.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
it's usually just a group of people and they're meant to be like friends, but there's usually a lot of, as people call it, drama and a lot of
drama.
secret animosity. So actually two people do not like each other, but they cannot say anything because they're in the same group. And that's just how
Mm-hmm,
the whole feelings build up and everything. And people usually get to a lot of things they shouldn't have because they feel peer pressured in their groups. There's usually sometimes there's a group leader, and if you get on the
mm-hmm,
bad side of the group leader, then you're
mm-hmm.
finished. So you basically have to suck up and make sure you can do everything, even though you know it's wrong, to get on the good side, just so you don't become lonely or alone.
I
Yes.
know. I get that. I get that. So, did you ever suffer from being out of a group or a clique or not being in a clique?
No, actually, thank God, I didn't really suffer with that, but but there was one time that the group I was in fell apart, and the main person per se in the group left to go join another group, and I felt really really down because I'd been really
Are you
close with this person.
serious?
Because but the reason why he left wasn't even because of an argument. He just felt that the group was becoming so-called boring, and so he decided to move somewhere else. And because
Mm,
I had felt that my whole individuality was tied to him, I felt really down. And oh, this person has left me. What do I do now? But I was still with other people.
mm.
But that really helped me in the end because I was able to move on and become even better person than I was when I was with him.
Of course. You girls always get better. I always tell you, your
Yeah,
life is not tied to a boy's life. And it's not like boys are bad. You
yeah,
okay? It's not like people are bad or anything. It's just that point you come to and you realize that your individuality counts and it matters. And what you're doing to yourself, what you're doing with yourself is also as important as feeling among, okay,
yeah.
or being in a clique.
Yes,
Very, very important. Okay, so right now, as a teenager, just a young teen, what do you think is the best way you can handle even your emotions, especially your negative emotions? How do you navigate your way? How do you find your way around it?
I feel like the best way for me is expressing myself, like telling the person that
Mhm.
this thing that you didn't make me feel good. It had a negative impact on me. But first of all, you
Mhm.
have to actually recognize it's like, what did this person do to make you feel this way? Is this a
Mhm.
repeated pattern? So when somebody says these things, you realize that you get triggered by it. So it's obviously something you don't like hearing. And so
Mhm.
that will also help you to realize that, oh, these things trigger me and help you express yourself better.
Yeah.
You usually telling the person actually helps. Most of the time, the person is understanding and then realizes that she could have said this in a better way and
Yeah.
all that. So that's usually one way that I can navigate my emotions.
Do you see this issue of navigating emotions as a big deal, which is why I wrote the book? Like, why do you think that is for every teenager to understand how to navigate their emotions?
It's very important, which is why I think every teenager and all the preteens too need this book, because if you cannot notice your emotions, you wouldn't know how to deal with them. You need to realize that, oh, I'm feeling this way for a particular reason, and then you can move on
Mhm.
from there. But if you don't even know how to do that, then how can you tell other people how you're feeling? How can you deal
Exactly.
with it or anything? It's not just being dramatic, like most people like, so you're just being dramatic or stop
Mm-hmm.
crying. But people have emotions for valid reasons, and in the end, if you don't end up telling other people, you just become trapped in your little bubble.
Grumpy. My
Yeah,
husband
then you
calls me
think,
grumpy, a grumpy kid.
yes, and then
You
your
just
parents will wonder, oh, what's going on? But it's just because you
yeah.
haven't told anybody else, so you're just
Mm-hmm.
suffering on your own.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very, very true. And I would assign this to the reason why we have teenage tantrums, right? And
Yes,
then, even parents are trying to guess what is going on with their children's life or
yeah.
in their minds or with them, because they are not saying it. Instead, they are acting it out. They are banging the doors, they are rolling their eyes, they are stamping their feet, they're just being acting rebelliously. Underneath that is a voice that is crying out to be heard. But we're not gonna to relieve the teenagers. We're going to say to them, we're not going to excuse them to say, oh, you did not know how to express yourself. That's why you were throwing a tantrum. They need to learn. A pre-teenager is somebody that is 9 years old, 10 years old, 11, 12. They are old enough to say, I feel upset. I feel angry. I feel disappointed. I feel betrayed. I usually tell teenagers, nobody's going to kill you. People are just going to react in different ways, but that's fine. They are entitled to their reactions. Okay, let everyone grow to that point that they can recognize how they feel and they can express it. I remember that in one of the chapters, I can't remember which chapter that is, I actually told the pre-teenagers how to do it. That's why you should get these books. I don't just tell the teenagers what they should do. I tell them why, and then I tell them how. So nobody's reading this book and is confused after reading it. They already know how to. I even shared scenarios. I know, Ella, did you read those scenarios?
Yes, I read the scenarios in the
Which one
book.
stood out for you? Which one, stood out for you?
I read the one. It was about Jane and Mia, who were two girls in the
Okay.
book, and one of them had an issue with her emotions, so she didn't really know what to do. So she asked her friend Mia, which is very important to have a good friend who is usually has a better quality than you. Because if Mia was struggling with the same issue as Jane in her emotions, who would Mia have
Mm-hmm.
gone to? But because Jane also had she was able to navigate her emotions well, so that was how Jane was able to come to me about this. So Jane had an issue
Mm-hmm.
with her emotions and she came to Mia asking her, "Oh, how do I navigate my emotions? What should I do?" And then Mia gave her a list of things that she could do to navigate her emotions. And one of them that stood out to me the most was drawing your emotions out. If you
Mm-hmm.
experience, like, draw different emotions and then look at all of them and think, oh, which one am I feeling right
Which
now?
one?
Which one?
Yes.
I thought that was really fun and cool to do. So everybody should try that one day because I feel like it will really
Yeah.
help you.
I know, right? So because of the work I was doing with that book, I I was also relearning, yeah. And I'm so glad you caught that part of it because after I wrote that part of the book, when I'm journaling, I started to draw. So like if I had a not too good day, I would now draw it and now put my my smile upside
Yes.
down as if to say I had a sad day. And it added some more life into my
Yeah,
journal. Yes, and these are the things that we need to infuse into our everyday lives. So that it's not boring. Because remember that these things are routines and we're supposed to consistently do it. So we get to enjoy doing it by finding a way to be creative
to be
about it.
creative.
So I'm so happy you got that. So now I can look at you. Maybe those who don't know can look at your journal and don't know what happened with you. But I can look at your journal, right? And I can guess what
Guess what
happened.
happens? Yeah.
Sometimes I'm trying to draw that, I had like fun with my friends and everything. And I'm like, I don't know how to draw. My daughter will be like, Mommy, that's not the symbol of a dance because I say, please just accept me. I know the meaning. So leave my drawing for me. Yeah, okay. So that's a very good one. This is why we're saying this book is completely appropriate for your teens and your teens, okay? But because we're targeting that age group, we just had to label it. However, even for me as an adult, like I said, I also learned, one way of expressing myself, which is by drawing, my emotions. And I want to say this: don't you even think that if your teenager doesn't learn how to acknowledge, identify, name and express their emotions, that they are going to do it in adulthood. No. In fact, it's going to compound and now become the major source of anxiety for them. I dealt with these things. I know why I'm saying this. I grew up not learning how to do these things. So my emotions were always all over the place until I became a full blown adult. And I now started to walk, in this space. And I realized this gap. And I said, no, I'm not going to let my teenagers go through what I went through. And I started to, be intentional about teaching them, which is why this book was birthed. I could have written any other book, but I looked at it and I said, no, if I want girls to be confident and I want boys to also be assertive, then to go back. I don't want angry birds. I don't want grumpy kids around me. I want people who can say, "Hello, ma'am. Can I say something? Can I say how this made me feel?" And everybody's okay. And then parents too are at peace because we don't like this we don't like this we don't like the way you girls and boys, hello, don't like the way you guys just come at us very, very, very strongly. Fight everywhere, fire. What is the problem? Can't we just? do this thing in a more civil way.
Yeah.
Which is why I think that is important. So you want to talk to parents and tell them why they need to get this book, yeah?
Yes, you should definitely get this book
Thank
because there's a lot of lessons and practical ways that will help you um, to navigate and your child, I mean, to navigate his or her emotions. It doesn't just give you theory, but it gives you different ways and reasons for doing it. Like even as I was reading the book, I learned a lot of lessons that I'm going to apply in my life now because it applies to a lot of situations. Definitely, as somebody who's a teenager and in school, there's a lot of situations where I feel like I really need to figure out what I'm feeling right now and express it before I end up releasing it on somebody else, like my parents or my brothers. When
That's
I
the
could
word.
have just,
Releasing it. You people used to
yeah,
release it on us.
yeah, when I could have just gone and journal because writing also really helps me to, navigate
Mm-hmm.
my emotions I've discovered. So you find your own unique way. Everybody has their own unique way which they use to express themselves and navigate their emotions. So this book will definitely help you figure out what way and what approach to take. So this book is definitely good for every preteen and teenager, regardless of age and even gender. So you should definitely get this book for your child.
Okay, thank you so much. Somebody's asking, can we see the books? Okay, so these are the books. We have the Child Guide series, which has to do with good friends, good sibling relationship, the growth mindset, um, social etiquette and good manners. Then we have the preteens, building no character development, yeah, we had that conversation recently. And then we have navigating your emotions, which is what we're talking about today. And of course the world class confidence, the girl's journey to world class confidence, we talked about that the other day. And of course the last one, the girl with sense, we're going to have that conversation soon. So these 9 books, the team has gladly agreed to extend pre-order to the 10th of August, which is when the book is out. The moment you have that book in your hand, you can no longer get it for 27,500. It's gone and it's gone. You get it for 45,000 naira. That's just it. So save 17,500 naira, okay, and get this 9 because eventually you're going to get them. When you come with the challenges, I and all the other coaches are going to send you to read this book, send your child to read this book. Because there is no true transformation without transformation from the mind. And it has to be done by the owner of that mind. You cannot transform your child's behavior for them. They have to go through that route alone. That's why we're having this conversation with the girls. No mom is here. No mom. I need the girls to express themselves. And they have been doing so far, 8 of them. Okay, so this shows that whatever your child is learning, they are learning for themselves. They are learning for themselves. At the Girls Hub, I try to get them to own their process. Initially, when we started, you hear mothers complaining, oh my girl is not interested in reading, my girl is not interested in journaling, she's not interested in the Girls Hub teaching, she's not. But now that has changed. The moment I ask for anything, I see girls, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. That's how we move. That's how we roll. That's how we grow. Okay, so let these children, there's nothing, your children cannot read my books and say they don't like reading. It is not possible. It is not, Ella, is it possible?
No, except you don't want wisdom that will help you in life.
It is not possible because I am also not I don't also like boring material. Were there times you read a book and you had some emotions?
No, not really. I actually enjoyed reading all of them, especially the spiritually intelligent teenager.
There is no way you read my books and not love it. Like you stop halfway. How? I I have been gifted with the grace to make heavy, heavy content easy, heavy concept easy. I'm able to break it down. Can you imagine me writing a book about growth mindset for a child? If I'm not giving that grace, I can't do it because it's difficult to break down such a thing for little children. It's difficult
Yeah.
to break down emotional intelligence for a preteen. And so after I wrote this particular book, I rewrote it. The first time it was written, when the team gathered all all the content we're supposed to use, it was not adding up. I I called my I said, this is not adding up. If it can't add up for me, it can't add up for my teams. I started all over it. This was the hardest book to write, hello. Incidentally, out of the 9 of them, this particular book was the hardest. So by the time I was done, I knew I'd emptied myself. I went for refill. This book, it took out of me. It took out. It was a whole lot. Emotions is not anything to play with. So you
Yeah.
can imagine actually breaking it down for a 10-year-old to understand. And that's why if you don't get this book for your teenager, you're doing them a disservice because they are going to keep struggling with their emotions and it's going to keep affecting you. So why not get them to read this book, do they have the conversations with them, talk about the scenarios, do role playing, prepare them for what is coming their way, etc. Okay. All right. So I can't see any comments. Somebody's asking, my daughter is 6 years old. Do you have anything for her age group this holiday? The only thing that would be for her this holiday would be to join the online boot camp. She can't come to camp physically, but she can join and she can start understanding what it is that we're doing. It's going to be a bit advanced for her, but with your guidance, okay, she can start picking up this concept gradually. Okay. Then what else you can do for your 6 years old is to catch replays of some classes that we have had for her age group. Yes, that's what we recommend. All right. Thank you so much. Hello, do you have any last words before we go?
Yes, ma. I actually wanted to say one more thing. That finding
Okay.
your individuality is very important and your own self esteem without somebody else. Because if you rely on somebody else to do that, then it's not going to help you a lot. So make sure you find who you are before looking for a friend. That's very important.
Word. Find who you are before you look for a friend. So that we reduce this drama, everyday drama here, drama there, friendship drama, friendship problems, click issues, crushes. We did talk about crushes, right? It's in the book. We tell them about the crushes. No, no, we're not telling them. They should go and
I'm
read the
not
book.
telling them.
We're not telling you guys. We're not telling you guys read the book. Thank you so much, my
Thank
darling.
you.
I appreciate you, and I'm looking to see more of you. Of course, we have some work to do for camp.
Yes.
All right, then. Take care. God bless you. And please go ahead and make your pre order today. Save 17,500 naira by paying only 27,500 if you do so today. If it's gone, it's gone. Sorry. All right, hello. Bye.
Thank
Love
you, ma.
you.
Bye bye, ma.